Hey guys, Lexus Driver here. Welcome to a new video. Now, since this is the last day of Pride Month, I like to talk about what I've learned so far about every aspects of the LGBT flags that I have here. Um, I have like all the LGBT flags, but the last two flags are for the straight, aka heterosexual, and the ally. To start off here, what I have here, this is the pride flag. Now, originally this flag was to represent the gay community, but this is a universal flag representing all members of the LGBT community. So it's a rainbow flag. There's also other variants of the rainbow pride flag, but this one in my case, this is the most common pride flag in the LGBT community. I like to call this one the universal pride flag, or simply, this is the pride flag. So as you can see here, this is a rainbow flag: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. Now, like I said, there's also other variants, but this one is the most common you will find in the LGBT community. This is the lesbian flag. Now, the lesbian flag, the most common one that I would be seeing a lot when there's women representing them being, lesbian, because a lesbian is a homosexual woman, a woman who falls in love or is attracted to another woman. So this flag here represents a lot of I wouldn't say a lot, but this flag here has a lot of feminine colors. There's also another variant of the lesbian flag, but I would say the seven striped lesbian flag is the most common one you'll be finding when you see lesbians representing themselves as lesbians. So, as I said, a lesbian is a homosexual woman who falls in love or is attracted to another woman. Now, this is the gay flag. Now, in my previous video, when I talked about, LGBT, like, what I learned, this flag, I know it's still relatively new, but I'm gonna say that I'm already used to seeing this flag. Now, the gay flag here, because originally, like, the rainbow flag was supposed to be. Well, I hate to say supposed to be. The rainbow flag was originally like was to represent, the the gay men, but ever since, the lesbian flag came to fruition, gay men wanted to have their own flag, so they took the same idea of a lesbian flag and then modified it to make it to have the masculine colors. As you can see here, there's blue, green, and then blue, and then a white stripe as usual. So uh, as a result, this is what they have to represent the gay men. So this is the gay men pride flag, or simply it's the gay flag. And the gay is basically a homosexual man, aka a man who falls in love or is attracted to another man. So that's what gay is. Now, this is a bisexual flag. Now, a bisexual flag, as you can see right here, there's a feminine color and a masculine color, and you see a light purple between them merging together. This is a bisexual flag. Now, bisexual is it can be any gender, male or female, and basically what a bisexual is a male or female who falls in love with both the same and opposite gender. So, um, A bisexual woman would fall in love with an opposite gender or another woman, and for the male, vice versa. The male would fall in love with a woman or a man. So that's how I can understand. That's how I understand bisexual. Okay, now this flag, this is the transgender flag, and before I start to blurt out stuff that would make me sound like an idiot, I actually have something that can help me out with what transgender is. I know the basics, but just to let the information talk it out. Okay, here we go. Um, all right. Transgender, this is basically an umbrella term. This is according to what I found on Google. Transgender is it's an umbrella term for people whose gender identity differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. So uh, that basically means that male or female that are assigned at birth, transgender individuals experience, internal gender as something different from what was expected. Like a male, a male might experience, feminism, and a female might experience masculine identity. So that basically means like you know the they're born naturally like males or females, but then their gender identity of how they see themselves is different from what they were assigned at birth. So that's transgender. So a male or female that at birth they're male and female, but when they identify themselves as their gender, it's different from their assigned gender. So to put it simple, a male is born a male, but then expresses like feminist expressions, whereas the female, born female, assigned female, they could likely they likely or they would be experiencing like a masculine feel or something like that. So that's the best of my knowledge, along with what I can find on the internet, what transgender is. Okay, so on my previous video, that previous video when I talked about my knowledge about LGBT, that was actually the gender queer flag. This is actually the queer flag. Now, this queer flag, this has every part of what queer is. So, queer is it's an umbrella term used by individuals who are not heterosexual, aka straight, or not cisgender. So the term queer, it's okay. So let me finish this further. Their gender identity matches the sex they were assigned at birth. So a queer, this is a different story because individuals who are not heterosexual or not cisgender, queer, it is a broad, inclusive label for anyone whose sexuality or gender identity falls outside the mainstream societal norms. That basically means like um, uh, they still they're still experiencing their gender identity, sexual identity. So you know uh, this flag right here, this merged. This merges like every type of queer of how they identify themselves. Individuals who are not heterosexual, aka straight, or not cisgender, um, and they're still exploring themselves on how they view themselves, even though like they're beyond what their assigned gender is, male, female. that's basically what queer is. Now, this one's a bit tricky for me when I tried to learn about queer, but to keep it basic, as it's shown right here on my other laptop screen, um, a broad, inclusive label for anyone whose sexuality or gender identity falls outside the mainstream societal norms. So they don't they're not they don't quite fit into regular society norms. That's what queer is. And yeah, yeah. So the people who identify themselves as queer, they felt that their sexuality or gender exists on a spectrum and doesn't fit neatly into the traditional either or categories, like strictly gay, straight. That's that's what queer is. Okay, so this is the intersex flag. Now, on my previous video, I was partially correct, but I wanted to go deep on this one. Intersex is it's an umbrella term for a variety of innate coordinates conditions in which a person is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy, chromosomes, or hormones that don't fit the typical binary definitions of male or female. So that basically means um, that basically means uh, like male or females would be having both male and female reproductive systems and hormones. Therefore, they could like males could exhibit female hormones, and then females might exhibit male hormones because uh, you know intersex people, male or female, as it states right here on my other screen. A person is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy, chromosomes, or hormones that don't fit the typical binary definitions of male or female. So they could be having, male reproductive organs, female reproductive organs, or both. Even though what gender they are is assigned to them, male or female. So that's what intersex is. Okay, so this one here is asexual. Now, not the scientific term of asexual reproduction. Asexual is this is a sexual orientation, and it's also part of the full letter words, but there are more letters. But these are the main letters: LGBTQIAP. Now, this one here, this is the asexual flag. Now, asexual is it's a sexual according to here on my other screen. Asexual is a sexual orientation characterized by experiencing little to no sexual attractions to anyone, regardless of gender. So, asexuals can either be homosexual or heterosexual, but the reason they're called asexual, male or female asexuals or ace, it's because they experienced they experience little to no they experience little to no sexual attraction to anyone, and it can happen on any gender, male or female. As it's shown right here, it's not a choice, a medical condition, or the same as celibacy. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's simply how some individuals naturally experience their sexuality. So, experiencing little to no sexual attractions to anyone, that's like that's really normal for any gender, because they've never experienced sexual attraction or experience like this, because this is their natural part of their life when they try to fall in love or something, but they experience little to no sexual attractions to anyone. And Asexuals could be that male or female. They could likely be homosexual or heterosexual, but asexual, it's this can apply to any gender or anyone, regardless, like, homosexual or heterosexual. So that is asexual. And finally, pansexual. Now, this is pansexual. So pansexual, it uses the same flag design as the bisexual flag, except the difference here is we have a yellow. We have a yellow bar. We have a feminine color and a masculine color. Now pansexual, it's according to Google right here, pansexual, it's referring to the romantic, emotional, or sexual attraction to people regardless of their gender identity or biological sex. So pansexual basically means that they're attracted, they fall in love with anyone, regardless of what their gender is or what their biological sex is, like, a male, female, regardless if the male or female is homosexual or heterosexual. That's what pansexual is. They fall in love with anybody regardless of um, gender identity, sexual orientation, etc., etc. So, pansexual, this one is much more broader compared to the other parts of the LGBT letters. So, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, and pansexual. So, this pansexual, this one is much more broader. This is much more broader compared to the others. So, um, yeah, yeah. So pansexual individuals, they are often described as gender blind, meaning gender is not a deciding factor in who they fall in love with or are attracted to. So pansexual, they can fall in love or be attracted. They can fall in love or attract um, anybody regardless of their gender or sexual identities and orientation. So pansexual. Okay, the last two. Now this one is a straight flag. This one is representing, the heterosexual community. The straight flag. This looks like, what the old cartoony prison jumpsuits look like, but this is really a straight flag. A straight flag basically means, well, straight means, heterosexual. Straight straight means that you're heterosexual and you only and straight means heterosexual, and heterosexual is a person who falls in love or is attracted to the opposite gender. So in this case, a male falls in love with a female, and a female falls in love with a male. So that's basically what straight is. And then uh, this flag, there's even another variant of the straight flag, and this flag also represents, that you support the LGBT community, even though you're heterosexual. So this flag right here, this, as I said, this is the straight flag. This represents, the heterosexual community, and this flag, I would really identify myself as this orientation, the straight flag. And this finally is the straight ally flag. Uh, it's the design of this flag. They took the straight flag and then modified it to include the pride flag, and it's shaped like an A. So this is the straight ally flag. Now, basically, what a straight ally flag is heterosexual people that support the LGBT community, and between the straight and the straight ally flag, this one I also identify myself as also a straight ally. So I'm also straight, but also I like to identify myself as straight ally because, um, learning about the LGBT community, it's learning about human society because um, they're still people, like, regardless of, who they are, gender, sexual orientation, identity, etc., etc. We're still people. And natural for me, I identify myself as heterosexual, but reading about this stuff makes me want to choose to become an ally. So this one is straight ally flag. So yeah, and well, once again, the straight ally is basically a heterosexual who heavily supports the LGBT community. And to end off the video here, there's some pictures I'd like to show you guys. These are AI generated images. So what I have here is the Burning Man Festival and two anthropomorphic female wolves. It's made obvious that they're lesbians, and I have a lesbian pride flag. So two lesbians, two lesbian anthropomorphic female wolves dancing together at the Burning Man Festival. And this one I have here is this one is gay. A gay male anthropomorphic wolves dancing together at the Burning Man Festival with the gay male's pride flag, aka they're simply called the gay flag. So two gay anthropomorphic male wolves dancing together, and with the inclusion of a gay pride flag, a gay flag. And this one is for the straight and the straight ally. So you can see right here the male wolf dancing with a female wolf, and finally dancing together as they hold hands with each other. Yeah. So these are basically, for the straight and straight ally. So in summary, this one is this one here and here. An anthropomorphic male wolf dancing with a female anthropomorphic female wolf at the Burning Man Festival. Now, I know that the Burning Man Festival, the outfit is pretty much out of place and whatnot, but these two would be perfect for the Burning Man Festival, given they're in the middle of the desert, and even though I chose night, it can get hot during the day. These outfits that the male and female are wearing right here looks out of place, but I gave it a choice. Now, I didn't include, the straight flag or the straight ally flag because, I just want to keep it the way I just want to keep it like this, so it makes it obvious that they're straight. But I'm gonna end off the video with this image right here, and be on the lookout for a YouTube post of when I post these on my community tab, so you guys can check them out. I will be including the pride flags, so be on the lookout for that one. And also be on the lookout that I also will include the straight and straight ally, because when I'm going to be posting on the when I'm going to be posting on my community tab, one post will be for LGBT, the other will be for the straight and straight ally, aka non-LGBT. So be on the lookout for that one. That'll be two separate posts, because I can only post the maximum of 10 images. But yeah, that's the best of my knowledge about the LGBT community, and learning about the LGBT community. I delve more into learning about human society. But I'll use this image to end off the video here. But anyway, guys, that's all I have this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and be sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay updated on new content I have on my YouTube channel. But anyway, guys, that's all I have this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, and have a good day, everybody.